This is a raw image straight out of the camera. I like it. I think there's a lot of potential here because it starts with a good composition. I think the composition is pretty good. But what I don't think is pretty good is, and a lot of photographers try this and very, 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 very few succeed at it, which is the ugly branches in your picture somehow is going to frame the picture. So I'm going to start off with cropping this. Well, all right, let's just ask ourselves the question before we start just cropping. What is the focus of this image? Well, I think it's the reflection in the water is a big feature of this, but it's the boat. But I also think it's the charming little boathouse across the way and this little island over here. So I see like the subject here. I don't think the subject is these dead trees over here. So I would focus in first on recropping this to get something like maybe this. Oh, maybe a little tighter. I don't like this little rock hanging out here. Well, of course, I do have a program that will
we could fix that. We could fix that.
All right, let's go with something more like this. For my color profile, I'm almost always going to switch from Adobe Color to a landscape, especially with a landscape. And it's a subtle change, but watch. Here's the default, and then here's Adobe Landscape.
I see it. It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a nice color boost, and it does more than just that. The other thing I would do is let's just go ahead and hit auto. Now, for many years, I would never hit auto because it used to be the overexposure button. Yeah. But now it actually does a reasonable job as just to look at a starting place. Look, that's not bad. Let me just show you before and after, all right? That's not bad. I could probably use a little more contrast, which is pretty typical. And I'm just kind of watching back here that this doesn't get too dark again. This was pretty dark. Also, the boat is really dark, but I think that's going to be fixed with masking. So let's go to the masking button. So let's go and let's just open this up a little bit. Let's go to the shadows and open up the boat a little bit. I want to be careful because I don't want it to look so bright that, in fact, I'm going to pull off the exposure and let's just do the shadows and see if that looks a little better.
I liked a little bit of the exposure, but
let me just try a hair of it.
Yeah, like nothing.
A hair of the dog that bit you. All right. So that's, I still hate to say it. I'm going to hit create new mask and I'm going to go with the brush.
Yeah, you're going to brush that front of the.
Yeah, it's just, this over here just isn't coming out.
Boost.
Yeah, there we go. It just needed that little bit. Oops, I spilled over. Hold the option key if you make a mistake and erase your spillover. What did I do? It's a point, not even a half a stop, maybe a full. Let's go to a half stop. There we go, just to bring out a little detail in there. Outside of that, let me go back to the basics panel. The clarity slider is great for making water shiny, and it also enhances wood and stuff. So this one might, look how it, see the water gets shiny. Now, you don't want to go too far. So what I generally do is I'll increase the texture to bring out detail, and then I'll do half as much clarity. So if I did 27, I might do 13 or 14, just to help with that a little bit. The other thing I'll probably do is one more mask, which is create new mask. Let's go to linear gradient, and let's darken that sky up a little bit. And I don't want to make it cloudy. I want to pull back the highlights. I mean, I don't want to make it look like it's going to rain. And I might add a little extra color in here. I might add a little extra blue, or I can go a little extra yellow. It depends. So there's adding the yellow-white balance. Here's adding the blue-white balance. I kind of tend to like the yellowish.
Yeah, as long as you pull out some of that green it brought in.
Yeah, well, I can just go over here to the...
Boom.
There we go. All right. For the rest of this, I think we'd probably go over to... Let me just open this up. Let's go over to Photoshop. You've heard of that. Yeah. And let's just do a little cleanup here. So this stuff over here has got to go, like this kind of half a leaf sticking up in the water. I would definitely clean up all this little, anything that doesn't make the photo look better has got to go. Even though that's a reflection of a cloud, you'd have to look and see that it's a reflection. Let's get rid of these extra ones over here, over here.
Simplifying the frame.
Yeah, just getting rid of all these distracting things that draw your eye away. And then this has all got to go.
Gotta go.
This whole nasty thing up here at the top is got to hit the way of the covered wagon. So let's go. There's a sentence you don't hear. Nice. It's gone the way of the covered wagon. Let's see how aggressive we can get with content aware fill.
Oh, you didn't catch that bottom of that one.
Yeah, I did.
We'll do it.
Come on, this is going slow. Okay,
Boof.
That's kind of boof.
Boof.
All right,
That's
well,
rough.
we're going to do just a quick fix of it, though. And we'll get
if
in the ballpark.
if you did what Scott was doing first and took the time, I think it would have got it pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't make a great
It
selection.
just would have taken a lot more time.
All right. Well, that just gives you the idea of what it looks like without.
Imagine that being cleaned up clouds.
All right. Now, I'm also noticing like a glow around the boat from the things that we've done. So to get rid of glows, go to the clone stamp tool, switch your mode to darken. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go right next to the boat where the glow is, and you're going to paint the glow away. And it's not going to paint on the boat, because when you switch that mode to darken, what you're telling Photoshop is only affects pixels that are brighter than where I clicked. So if I click over here, watch, it's only going to affect brighter pixels. And so the boat does not get erased. What gets erased is the glow. And there was quite a little glow going on around this boat, including some chromatic aberration. I think that's enough glow repair. Maybe even this little bit over here. All right. So that gets rid of the glow. And then sharpen it to death to finish it off. Now, one more thing, though. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it with AI Sharpen, Topaz AI Sharpen, which is about all I use anymore. Just let it open up, and it goes, oh, hang on, I'll fix that.
It's like
Done.
magic.
It's like magic. Wow, you did a nice job. Give it a second to process. All right, now, the only thing I would say is very often you're doing all these things, and you're going, and then you go, you know, it's at the end, it's a little too colorful. It is very common for me to go back at the end and look at it and ask myself that question. Is it too colorful?
Yeah,
and
do I
if
need
it
to tone
is,
it down?
Yeah, just go back to the camera raw filter, or in Lightroom, you would just do this in Lightroom. Go to the vibrance and just bring it down a little bit so it looks a little more realistic. So I dropped it by 21. So it's not so, you don't want it to look like, watch this last move. See, it was just a little too colorful. It's not terrible, but
yeah.
You know what it was? I like the yellows. I don't like the blues. So there's where we started, and there's where we ended.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a bit better.
That's a lot better.